good doctor?
It used to be. I won an award once from the mayor. Had an expensive frame.
They're all gonna die.
The day I get out of prison, my own brother picks me up in a police car.
It's the Al Travis Show. We generally get John Hinderrocker in. He is out of the area, so he let us talk to Bill Walsh. Bill Walsh in from the American Experiment. Bill, how are you doing, sir?
Doing great.
Exciting times at the American Experiment, in my opinion. Nothing better than the Turkey Awards. I think the lead up to the Turkey Awards, the talk of the Turkey Awards, I think the Turkey Awards is like by far my favorite. Now, 4 times a year you're sending me a magazine, not opposed to that. Come on, the Turkey Awards, is that not the favorite at the office?
Yes. We're allowed to have fun, right?
Yeah.
We're trying to make a point, but sometimes humor helps. Also, pointing out silly spending, these little projects, sometimes they're little relatively in government terms, speaks to the larger issue of spending. If they don't care about the little stuff, it carries forward into the big stuff. So
we're going to talk about that today. There's a lot of that going on. But let me just throw out the 4 categories. Give me your thoughts on them. The number one, not in any particular order, the Rum River Surfing Project is on the list of things you can vote for. $50 million in tax money to see if we can get the Rum River to do some surfing. Is that really something anyone was interested in? Anyone?
Well, yeah, sure. Have you been to the Rum River? Have you seen it in Anoka? There's
beautiful.
Not a lot of current there. There's a little dam. The water flows over the dam. It makes a nice noise. We took the golden turkey out there and did a video. It's just I have a good friend who's a surfer, a real surfer. He grew up in California, and he told me, he said, "Look, there's not be any surfing at the Rum River." He said, "You get on the board, the current will come at you. Imagine on those cruises where they have little surf pools and it provides a current." He said, "You get on the board, you'll do that for about 5 minutes, and then you're going to be like, well, that's boring, and we're done." So he was, as a real surfer from California, he was very skeptical that this would be a thing.
How short is that season as well? From when to when? Yeah.
They talked about, there are going to be wetsuit sales. There'll be little surf shops that pop up in Anoka. It'll bring in economic development, which is silly. There's only so many dollars for entertainment and economic development in the community, unless you're going to import people from Wisconsin to come over and spend their money at the surf park, getting a wetsuit rental because it's April or May or June. You're going to have a 3 or 4 week season where it's hot enough. Ask anybody who's got a pool in Minnesota how many days they actually can use the pool. That's what we're looking
if it is needed. Exactly right.
The surf park, by the way, is in 3rd place in the voting. I can. I can give you the rankings right now, but the surf park is currently in 3rd place of the 4 nominees.
Well, I think because I'm just going to psychologically evaluate people. I think it's because most people don't believe this could possibly get done. They're not worried about it. The one that gets me, number 2, the $1 million Bloomington City Hall bathroom. Folks, this is what we did with your COVID money. They put in, it looks like a 20-stall bathroom. I don't know how, does everybody from the city go at the same time? How you need 20 stalls? The Quick Trip? I'll bet you the Quick Trip in Blue Earth, Minnesota has a massive more people come through in a day, and I think it's a 2-staller.
It's a really nice bathroom. I'm just going to say, we went out and visited it. It's individual stalls because we're unisex now. We don't distinguish between men and female, men and women. We all go in a little stall, then we all come out and wash our hands, and you do the mirror thing together. Ask any woman if she wants to do that. They don't. There's a urinal room. That's what they call it. Urinal room. There's a sign on the wall. So you walk up to this urinal room and the door goes open automatically. Ooh, it's like space age technology. And then, you go in, so the men can go in the urinal room and then come out and use the community washroom. There's red and green lights to indicate whether the stalls are occupied. It's very fancy, high-tech stuff. Really nice, right?
This is like, if you ever go to a football game at any school, and they've got 5, 6 porta potties next to next to next. This is that kind of technology off the charts. What I mean by that, my wife is never thrilled that it's unisex. This does not make my wife a happy camper. But this idea that you have a red and green light letting you know that it's occupied. Mm-hmm. And what does that cost to maintain the sensors, the rest? Because at the urinal at the at the football game. You know, when you close the door and you turn the knob, it tells the other side what's going on.
Yeah.
That's cheap technology we've had for years. It's not fancy like this. But $1 million in this bathroom is off the chart crazy to me.
This is the thing that the feds during COVID didn't know what to do. I mean, nobody knew what to do. So it's like, give people money was the answer. Give cities money. And I'm on a city council and we got all this money in White Bear Lake. And it's like, what do we do with this? We're not equipped to spend money in that way. We are very, very, streets, 911 calls, fire department, that's what we do.
Yeah.
And there was only so many masks you could buy with COVID money. And, in White Bear Lake, we had the same problem. It's like, this is too much money for us to spend in this category. So Bloomington got creative and somehow built a bathroom in City Hall. We didn't think we could do that in White Bear Lake. We thought that was an abuse of the money.
Well, when I give you this, when you mentioned there was going to be $1 million and you went and took photos, I seriously thought this was going to be like inlaid parquet floors from quartz brought in from Egypt or something. I mean, that's what I thought. This looks like all material you could buy at the Home Depot.
Yeah, I mean,
it did, except for the technology for the doors opening and closing. I just amazing that money. Anyway, by the way, where's that on your list?
Second bathroom in Golden Turkey history. So it's become a theme. We did a rest stop up on Highway 35 on your way to Duluth. Oh, it did have the Brazilian teakwood inlay.
I remember that.
So that was like a $7 million rest stop. So this is like, how could the Golden Turkey have 2 bathrooms in 5 years? Because we do.
We spend money on them. So where does that sit on the list, if I might ask, before the last week?
Fourth place.
No way.
Yes.
Okay, because that's one. You look at the photos. People go rejudge. Go take another look. This one gets me quite a little bit. Tim Walsh spent $430,000 in legal bills that we get to pay to have some outside law firm come and tell him how he should act when he goes to Congress to testify in Congress, which, if you remember, he was a member there for 12 years just prior. And maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe I don't understand how it works. Don't we have a whole crap load of lawyers that work for him? And then the Ellison folks, couldn't he have talked to any of those lawyers and got a help? I mean,
yes, of course. I mean, he's got tons of staff, obviously, in any state agency and his own staff. Certainly has lawyers, certainly has people that could prepare him. The subject matter was Minnesota policy. So a governor ought to know his own policy and to be able to defend what he's doing, in relation to immigration and the idea, but we got to bring a guy in because we always got to bring a guy in from DC or from Boston or whatever, because that guy's smarter than us. And $800 an hour, we got to bring the guy in. Some of the money went to get those guys up to speed on Minnesota law so they could advise the governor about Minnesota law and how to testify in Congress. Absurd. And then, like you said, the guy spent 12 years in Congress. He sat on congressional committees. He knows the rhythm of a congressional committee. If it was somebody, you and me, trying to go to Congress, we'd need a little primer maybe. It's like, okay, how do I address the chair? And, what is the etiquette and the protocol? This guy sat on committees for 12 years.
But if I remember that billing process, though, he got invited to go, and it was like a 3 weeks time period. So it's like by the time you found somebody, got him up trained, and then trained you, you almost had full time the staff of lawyers getting ready for this. The number of hours that you could bill was so small. I don't remember what it was, but it was like they're getting $2,000 an hour because they had to put everything aside to help Tim Walsh get ready for that.
Yeah, I mean, I think 800 was the biggest number, but they had to collaborate with the other governors, teams that were invited as well. So you got, Hochul from New York and Pritzker from Illinois on this panel, and they had to all collaborate, get their message straight. I mean, it's nonsense. Frankly, the whole hearing was nonsense. I mean, I'll agree with Governor Walz on that. It was a bit of a show on both sides and in DC. Yeah. But I mean, he didn't need to spend $430,000 to prepare for that political show.
Where's that sitting on the list right now? Because that one bothers me.
Leading the competition.
It is
going away. They're at 53% of the vote in a 4-way race. Here's the thing. Every year when we do nominations for Golden Turkey, everybody says Tim Walsh should be the Golden Turkey. And we have to explain to people it's not a person, it's a project. Yeah. So when we got a project with his name on it, it's difficult for other contests to win because Tim Walsh's name is on this thing.
Well, I want to give the last one a shot so everybody gets a fair shot here before we go to break. But there's a Gold Line bus. This is number 4, and it's another empty bus station. I thought this would have been leading because of the number. $500 million to take people from St. Paul to Woodbury. Evidently, those folks in Woodbury have cars, and they like them.
Yeah, we this is another transit project in Golden Turkey. We built the Twin Cities, decades ago. We have no land barriers or natural barriers. We spread it out, right or wrong. That's the way we designed the Twin Cities. People like our cars. We drive our cars. And they built another bus in a rut, as Matt Dean calls it, bus in a rut. They build the rut and they put the bus in it. And it goes every day between St. Paul and Minneapolis, or St. Paul and Woodbury. And we went and rode it. Nobody was on it. There's a great video we caught of the Golden Turkey sitting in the seat, looking out the window at the scenery's going by. It's my favorite video of the whole thing. And we want to play some music with it. We don't have the license, but,
oh, that's funny.
Self or something,
Oh, that's funny.
So
that's another one you can vote for.
Second place.
Well, and I thought because of the number it would be, but you get a lot of those. I don't know, 2-3 of these buses that go to nowhere. Wasn't last year the bus that went to nowhere, or that no one rode the bus?
Bus stop that no buses came to in Newport a few years ago. The Southwest Light Rail Transit Project is in the Hall of Fame. We had to just give it a Lifetime Achievement Award. Still not open, still not operating. You get to make your thoughts known if you go to americanexperiment.org, and go to Take Action. You'll see the Golden Turkey Awards. Hit that. Submit your vote today, and we'll discuss, I'm sure, next week when the Turkey Awards come out. Sir, I got more to talk to you about, more prominent stuff coming up right after this with Bill Walsh.
Think about it. A famous politician once said, "You're entitled to your opinion, but you are not entitled to your own facts." But in a world full of AI and fake news, where can Minnesotans find the facts? Center of the American Experiment is Minnesota's go-to source for fact-based analysis and common sense solutions for taxes, energy, public safety, and our kids' education. Visit americanexperiment.org for more information. Think About It is brought to you by Center of the American Experiment, Minnesota's think tank.
This season, bring the whole family to see Irving Berlin's White Christmas. This smash hit musical based on the classic film returns by popular demand to delight you at Chanhassen dinner theaters. With loads of laughter and a stunning showcase of Irving Berlin songs, White Christmas is a celebration of the romance, friendship, and magic of the holidays. Make your plans today to see White Christmas. Visit chanhassendt.com.
you kidding me?
You know that comment you said to the radio? The thing that we got wrong?
Clearly, Brussels sprouts are the worst vegetable.
Call us and let the world know your thoughts. 855-257-7469. That's 855-ALS Show.
And we've got him, Bill Walsh, in with the American Experiment, talking about news of the day today, sir. And I don't know if you've kept up on it or not. They had the first fraud committee meeting pre a system starting. They were talking about Minnesota's paid family leave yesterday. We've said on this program, you know, when you have, like, I don't know, the Housing Stability Act, you have up to $100 million that can be stolen like sharks on a steak, right? They're going to go after it. This one is never, there is no limit to how much money in a year could be stolen here. You watch this thing go. Can I get your first assessment of what happened in that meeting yesterday?
Well, I mean, it was a great illustration of the attitude of the bureaucracy. I think the Tim Walz bureaucracy. I mean, because it's his people, you know. So we're starting a new program, and the committee, you know, rightly asked, "How are you going to prevent fraud? What are you thinking about fraud as we head into this on the front end?" And their attitude is, "Well, why would people aren't going to do that? They have to attest an oath that says they're going to take care of this person, and they'll be violating their attestment." They have to give their driver's license and show their take a picture. So wow, that people won't do that they'll get caught. They'll think they'll get caught. And it's like, this is the same thing we heard from about feeding our future and everything else. It's like, or voting.
Yeah.
Simon loves to say, well, illegal non-citizens won't try to vote because you have to sign an oath, and they'd be violating that oath, and people won't do that. Like, well, dude, people do things like that. There's right and wrong. There's evil in the world. People do commit fraud. There's bad angels out there and bad actors. So
we're seeing it every day here. Let me ask you this, sir, because I would have thought they had this buckled down by now, as this was passed over 2 years ago. There's no limit, as evidently, on the number of people who can care for one person. Let's say my Aunt Flo, who I considered my mother, down in Florida, got terminally ill. I'm feeling horrible. I must take paid leave. Okay, you're granted. My brother could use the same aunt with the same problem, say I need to, and so can my sister. I have 7 of us in the family. We could all take from the state of Minnesota this Minnesota paid family leave to all take care for the same one person. Does that make any real financial sense for the rest of us?
You know, the law of unintended consequences, and, you know, they haven't thought this through. I mean, maybe it's great that they had this hearing yesterday because they were actually asking these questions in advance. You hope they'll scurry back to the computer systems and maybe try to figure out a workaround on this so that, but I think this is what we're going to see. But then with this new benefit, this very generous benefit, you're going to see all kinds of schemes and attempts to game the system. And it's so broad. I mean, if it was just like you had a baby, here's some parental leave and maternal leave. Your family member is sick, but it's so broad. I mean, they make jokes. It's like my neighbor's cat is, I got bereavement. I got to go take care of mine. But man, it's broad enough that the neighbor's cat might qualify.
Well, it goes, and the other thing I didn't yesterday was one of the people brought up. You can, if you work 2 jobs, you could do this to just one job and keep the other job while not working the first job and getting paid from Minnesota paid family leave. Where in the world does that work, sir? How does that? I mean, they said, well, if you had a Monday, Tuesday job, you can quit that, but on Thursday, Friday, how does that work in anyone's life? That makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think you're gonna the people in Minnesota. A lot of people are going to take advantage of this. I think the use is going to be high. The damage to small business is what I'm most concerned about. If you've got 4 or 5 people, or 1 or 2 or 3 people, and one of them says, "Look, I'm leaving for 12 weeks, and you got to keep my job here," and then somehow do my job while I'm not here, and there's just no help to that small business owner. People are going to be making huge decisions about small businesses. Like, I'm out, I'm done. I can go do something else and make money. I can't make money doing this anymore. The hassle. Yeah. And I think the public employee unions are going to really be experts at this. And so this is going to become part of the public employee union, normalcy in state agencies, cities, counties, school districts. Yeah. It's going to raise the cost of everything in terms of government. Yeah.
I got to go. I'm out of time, sir. I appreciate you stepping in for John. I really do. Appreciate you being here. He's Bill Walsh, American Experiment. Go to AmericanExperiment.org. Thank you, sir.
You bet.
Think about it. A famous politician once said,